I'm moving to Montana soon. Gonna be a dental floss tycoon. Or maybe I'll just listen to today's Nice Guys on Business.
I do not invest in businesses that are born in the best of times. I do not invest in businesses where the Fed is printing money and giving it to people for free. I don't invest in businesses that are born when real estate values are doubling. Anything born during the best of times, I'm out. I only invest in things that weathered the housing crisis, multiple recessions, and now including COVID. Now you have my attention.
What are we going to do today? Same thing we do every day, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Oh, and listen to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, of course. Go from where you are now to where you could be. Get expert tips to grow your business, to be more productive and more efficient, whether you're trying to build influence, grow your community, or make it rain. Best-selling author of Nice Guys Finish First, Doug Sandler, can lead the way. The Nice Guys on Business is produced by Turnkey Podcast Productions. Now, here's your host, Doug Sandler.
All right, Nice Guy community meets Cliff Nonnenmacher. He's an entrepreneur whose side hustle started at probably somewhere the age of 8, selling golf balls outside of a country club, and he hasn't slowed down since. By 19, he was delivering 100-plus McDonald's orders a day. God, I would have to imagine you gained a lot of weight during that time, too. Basically inventing food delivery before the apps existed. He's run water sport concessions, owned a video store, helped take the Fun Noodle nationwide, even bought a trading system to Wall Street before landing at Morgan Stanley. Totally within his wheelhouse. Cliff's real sweet spot, it's franchising. He's spent over 2 decades building, scaling, and mentoring in the franchise world, helping entrepreneurs figure out if business ownership through franchising is the right move. He's no fluff. I've had a conversation with him right here. Listen to his podcast. He's a no BS guy, all facts, and the kind of guy who's seen it all and shows up excited to help others. He's also the host of The Pursuit of Profit. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, continue listening to this episode. Cliff's got a lot of great information. Then you can actually unsubscribe to the Nice Guys and listen to The Pursuit of Profit, where you're going to learn some really cool shit. He shares real world stories, practical insights from the front lines of business ownership. If you're thinking about your next move, this conversation is going to be gold. Cliff, I'm excited. Let's welcome you to the Nice Guys on Business podcast.
You are amazing. You really are a nice guy. That intro, that you are nice guys.
Well, my 92-year-old mom wrote it, so she's really learning ChatGPT like nobody's business.
Has she? Good for her.
She's good for her. Are your parents still alive?
They are, yeah.
Okay.
And she would never use ChatGPT.
Does your mom or your dad, do they use an iPhone or any technology?
My father uses an iPhone. He wouldn't use ChatGPT. My mother has, because she's fiscally conservative. She has like a track phone where she loads the time on it.
Oh, wow.
I always make fun of her because it's like a drug dealer's phone, but she loves it. And she makes fun of me for having a crazy phone bill.
So I'm thinking about from your accent, you're probably what, UK, or are you overseas somewhere? Italy, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
Where are you from?
Long Island. I grew up in New York, Long Island. Right now I'm in Delray Beach, Florida, but I grew up in Long Island.
It's like the hotbed of between Delray Beach, which is, let's see, exiting land USA, where everybody that's made it in the world has kind of exited and gone to either West Palm or Delray. And Long Island, which of course is the cornerstone to so much of the tech stack that has been built out there in the world. What motivated you early on? Were your parents were they entrepreneurs? Did they not go that route and you kind of rebelled? What made you even start in thinking about doing your own thing?
I think you're kind of born that way. So I'll start with that. I think it's indelibly inherited in you, just same way your personality became what it is, Doug, probably by the time you were 7 or 8 years old. It's like you're kind of done. People try and change you along the road, and life experiences change you. But I think I was just born that way. I always loved money. Oh, at the youngest of age, I loved money. I loved working.
Did you feel like, and I don't know if you had a healthy relationship as I did early on. My mom always really impressed upon me the importance of a good credit score. Have an 847 credit score. I'm 3 points away from as close to 850 as I can get. Always buying stuff on credit, but then using their grace period and then paying it right off to not pay the
100%.
ridiculous fees. Well, did you always have that relationship, and where did that start? Because you mentioned a number of times during your episodes of your podcast, you talk about money, and some people have a very tough time having a conversation about money. Talk to me about that.
So father, always entrepreneurial, always trying to make money. He was actually in law enforcement, but he always wanted more. He wanted to do more. Highly inspirational to me to see someone hustle the way my dad hustled. He was a workhorse. The guy was a beast. He still is today. I mean, he's aging, but very inspirational. My mother, hustle, hustle, hustle is all I could hear from her. You have to provide. You're a man. You got to provide for a family one day. You have to work. You have to make money. You need a trade, go to college, do something, make money, provide. That was ingrained. Credit, credit, credit.
Right.
As soon as I became of age, she got me a credit card, co-signed for it, $500 credit limit, and said, don't fuck it up. Right? Don't, because you don't realize what that means. Like most advice in life, you don't realize what they're saying to you until I'm dealing with guys all the time every day. It's like they have all these desires to do things and their FICO score is like 610.
Right.
Or it's kissing what looks like bankruptcy. I'm like, man, did you file for bankruptcy? They're like, no, why? I don't, because your FICO score kind of mirrors what someone who filed for bankruptcy.
Because you're 530 right now. And we're not credit shaming anyone that has had some bad luck in their life and anybody that's gone through bankruptcy at all. We know there's a turnaround, but the idea behind it is the discipline that got you to 530 is also not going to get you to 800. I'm not saying that the 800 is the way to go. There's plenty of people that deal in cash and plenty of people bring on partners and have things that they can leverage even if they have bad credit. I always felt that it's not just the credit score that's the reflection. It's the reflection of the person that's behind the credit score. It's not just credit, it's all of the other things. It's, do you maintain a budget? Are you able to follow rules and systems in place? Or are you someone that is a challenge when it comes to bucking a system? If that's the case, again, with all due respect to Cliff, this probably isn't the episode for you. Because when we talk about what Cliff does well, and he has experienced that in franchising, there are some rules to follow. And maybe we can start there. You went from an entrepreneur who is basically the wild, wild west of growing a business to someone that you have to put up some guardrails when you get into the franchise world. So can you talk about that and how you were able to make that move?
That's a great observation that most don't realize. Yes. I didn't have a problem with it because I don't view myself as like a visionary entrepreneur. I'm not the guy inventing things, right? I'm not Elon. I'm not Bill Gates. I'm not Steve Jobs. I'm not those guys that are actually disruptors and creating things. And as I said, they're patenting things. So what I wanted was the fastest path to wealth and financial freedom and so on. And I found that franchising is arguably one of the greatest methodologies to create wealth in the world. If you look at franchising, not as an industry, but a methodology of how to scale and create wealth, there's nothing like it, quite frankly. And I became obsessed with it, actually. In 2003, I literally became obsessed with the idea that I can attach myself, little me, to a brand, follow their operational model, scale it at the local level, and create wealth and multiple units, sell it, have an exit strategy, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And I've done it, over 12 times now. Well, so I love it.
And you mentioned something really interesting. You mentioned something that I never really even thought of. The whole idea behind starting or growing a franchise that's already existing, of course, and following a system is that you could grow it, scale it, buy another, grow it, scale it. You could have 4 or 5. You could have one, and that could be the beginning and the end. But you then have an exit strategy for that, because the exit strategy is built into a franchise, isn't it?
I believe. Well, this has been proven, by the way, Doug, by Biz Buy Sell. Not only does franchising provide more liquidity, an exit strategy, but it provides a higher multiple compared to an independent with the same EBITDA.
Right.
So you've got brand A, brand B, same brand, same revenue, same net. Well, brand A is an independent. He hung his own shingle and prides himself on not paying royalties. Right. He's not getting the same multiple that the franchise is getting. So, and that's been proven by Biz Buy Sell aggregating data over decades.
Talk to my community about advantages over something that might be a service based or versus something that is product based. You might have something let you walk into a bagel shop, Einstein Bagel franchise. You walk in there and they're obviously selling a product. They have real estate, they have products, they have systems and process. And then you walk into a company that's doing like I don't know, termite control. And now we're dealing with a service where there's not as much, maybe there's as much overhead. Chemicals are very expensive. But is there a better than one over the other?
Yeah. To me, yes. So this would probably help the audience. What I have an investment banking background. So yes, I was an entrepreneur. I started trading. You mentioned it in the intro. I started buying and selling stocks, learning how to short, learning, option strategies. And what I learned becoming an investment banker is a term called asymmetrical investing. And again, there are things that you like and there are things that you become obsessed with. I just said, okay, that I like. What can I do that is a low investment? Well, you just killed food. You just killed food. That one criteria, that's out.
Oh, it's 40. It's 40%. It's 40% of the net is usually food. If it's good, I mean, if you're talking about doing it well, it's the magic number is 40. If you get it under 40, you're profitable. Over 40, and you're fucked. Basically.
You're talking about food costs, right? I'm talking about. I'm starting with the ideas now. So you're right, and what I'm talking about right now is just the total entry investment. Not the cost of goods.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
But you nailed it on that.
Explain that though.
So I like low investment up front. I want to put up as little cash. I want as little debt or no debt as possible. I want a high margin. Well, that's subjective. What's a high margin? I'm not getting out of bed for less than 15, 20% net to the bottom line. And that's a fully burdened business where I'm not doing the work. So I think I want to be very clear in what I'm saying. I don't like businesses that require my day-to-day involvement, because that's called a job. I want to buy a business with a high margin that I could hire managers, layers of employees. They can execute the business. I will manage the manager, but you will not find me pressure washing roofs. You won't find me doing things.
Okay, but hold on a second. And again, I'm not being a contrarian, but I want to talk about this for a second, because isn't it interesting that there are many experts in the franchise space that, well, you got to get to learn the business and you got to get to know the business. So I encourage you to work the business, and that some people would say that. I love your approach, because I love the differentiator here is like, I'm with you. I don't fucking want to go spray for roaches. I want to hire somebody that's okay with that. I don't even like bugs. So for me, I'm with you. I'd rather buy a franchise if I'm going to buy a service-based franchise. I'd rather buy that, or a bakery. God forbid, I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. to bake bread. I'm not doing that.
Never going to happen. You're never going to see me at 4 a.m.
So tell me what creates. How do you do that? How do you actually create a franchise where you don't actually have to work in the business? You're working on the business.
Well, the whole idea behind franchising is the ability to replicate the model across the country in any market. So we start there. Well, how did they do that? Systems, processes, right? National accounts, vendor programs, all these things that have been pre-negotiated, and a blueprint or a roadmap to then say, let's execute. Who do we hire? How much do we pay them? How do we retain them? And how do I manage the manager? And if you look at like the E-Myth by Michael Gerber, the whole concept of the book is, I'm not saying to your audience, go to the beach. What I'm saying to the audience is that I don't buy businesses that require my day-to-day involvement performing the actual service. So how do you do that? Number one, I went to basic training. So I already learned how to do the business. I went to training because I'm the franchisee. My name is on that contract. They're required to train me. So I've gotten trained. Now I'm in the business. I hang out with my techs. We go into the field. We scope the job. In your case, you're using pest control. We scope the work. I'm not spraying it. I'm not getting in the crawl space or the I'm not doing that. Am I telling the audience not to do it? I'm just trying to differentiate between these two things. You're either working in your business or you're working on your business. If you work in it, you will never make money. If you want to work on it, you could then ultimately scale and create wealth, because all you really did was buy a job if you're going to work in the business. An example would be go to UPS store. You're going to see a beautiful couple behind the counter. You know they're husband and wife. Tape in their hand, packaging fucking boxes. I mean, that's not a business to me.
No, I'm with you. I don't want to do that. I just didn't realize that there is another way. And until you've just said this, and maybe those nice guy community, keep in mind that Cliff has got a process of doing this. So tell me what you would direct people towards. I mean, I know you have a full list of franchisors that you probably represent, but are there specific ones that you really like to lean people towards? If you hear the same, maybe the same qualifiers that you have as a business owner?
Yeah, I'm going to recap what I kind of said, and then I'm going to get into that. So just to kind of level set for the audience, I like asymmetrical investments. What does that mean? Very quickly. 1, low buy-in. 2, high margin, 15, 20% and higher. Next, de-skilled labor. I put emphasis on de-skilled. I've been using the term for a decade, and everyone corrects me and says, you mean unskilled? No, I mean de-skilled, which means in the future with AI, robotics, and humanoids, I'm going to replace all those people, and I'm going to add another 5 to 10 points to my bottom line. Wow. So de-skilled businesses where there's repetition. Hi, thank you for calling. No need for those people any longer with AI. Okay. There is absolutely no need for appointment setting. There's no need to answer basic tech support questions. There's no need for almost countries that are providing these services no longer need it. It is de-skilled labor that is now being replaced by artificial intelligence. Next, I like limited to no inventory. I do not like money sitting on shelves. I don't like that business. I also don't like ARs.
Hold on. I gotta really emphasize this. I mean, I promised you no BS, and Cliff has given it to you. He is bringing the home run to this podcast episode. Listen to what he is saying. So far we've got asymmetrical.
Yeah. Low investment.
We have de-skilled labor. Yep. We've got
high
margin that could even get higher because technology is going to help us at some point in the future.
You bet.
Okay, keep moving.
Limited to no inventory.
No dollars sitting on a fucking shelf. I love that too.
Yep. Cash paid on demand of service. Hey, I want to hire you. Good. You pay me when I get there.
No AR.
No ARs, baby. Exactly. I'm not chasing people down. We live in a culture where people would look you dead in the eye and lie to your face. That's the culture we live in.
Yep.
Right. I always use this statement. I said, Tommy Boy is the only movie where someone told the truth. The guy says, does this suit make me look fat? And David Spade said, no, your face does. No one talks like that. No one talks like that. People would rather just lie to your face and tell you the truth. So I hate chasing people down for money. And then it has to be highly scalable. And everyone loves to throw that line around.
Yeah, of course.
The highly scalable comment. Let me explain. Highly scalable means, do you view this as scalable? That business is $1.5 million. Great. Okay. We need to open up a second, third. Is there a break? No, it's $1.5 million, $1.5 million, and $1.5 million. That's not scalable.
Okay.
But a non-brick and mortar brand where it costs me $200,000 up front, but to scale it, I got to hire one tech and lease one van. Now that's scalability.
Wow.
And that's why you drive around anywhere in America and you will see HVAC vans and plumber vans with numbers on the van that say 105. You're like, wait a minute. There's 105 plumber vans on the road. You can scale big businesses. And I had a guy on my pod that scaled a $350 million HVAC company because that's how you scale. Techs, vans, equipment. So I believe in highly scalable. I want to make my final point on my criteria to check all my boxes. Lastly, I do not invest in businesses that are born in the best of times. I do not invest in businesses where the Fed is printing money and giving it to people for free. I don't invest in businesses that are born when real estate values are doubling. Anything born during the best of times, I'm out. I only invest in things that weather the housing crisis, multiple recessions, and now including COVID. Now you have my attention.
I love it. I love it. I talked to I've used this example many times before, and my son actually is visiting me this week, so it just brings it to the top of the pile of the heap here. You know, we're walking along the boardwalk and we see the loading dock doors in the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, as we're going on vacation a couple of years ago. And I said, that's the business to be in. You want to be in the overhead door business. In bad times, people still need their loading docks opened and closed. Or the Otis elevator business or whatever other elevator repair. That's the plumbing. I mean, home improvements. I mean, people want that stuff all the time, in good times and in bad. You don't want to be in the gold ceramic business because that's the first thing that people, it's going to go. It's going to go when the economy goes.
I totally agree with you.
Is there any? Yeah.
You created a perfect segue for what I like to tell my clients. We live in this era now of AI, quantum computing, humanoids. Tesla has Optimus. Optimus will soon be bringing you a beer and probably editing your videos. And I mean, come on,
Right.
This is the time that we're living in. All that being said, we focus on 5 categories with our clients, and the audience will appreciate this disciplined list and how it hedges AI risk and de-risks your future. Number 1, anything involving the feminization of men in America. And let me explain the statement. These are our own coined phrases for what we're investing in.
Mm-hmm.
Feminization of men in America has to do with the fact that for the last 2 decades, we told men that if you go to trade school, you're a loser. That's what we did.
Way. Yeah,
we told them that
I
you need to go to college and you need to go into debt at least 150 grand. You need to mortgage your future. You need to never own a home. You need to be strapped in debt and have a dog shit degree in political sciences or gender or studies that you're never going to monetize. Right. Now you've got guys on TV from Columbia University ripping them. Of course, they weren't worth anything to begin with.
Right,
so they're ripping them now on camera. So what does that mean? It means that I only invest in businesses that require tools. And I don't care if it's a squeegee, I'm in. Pressure washing wand, hammer, roofing, siding, painting. If it requires a tool, I'm in. Plumbers, electrical, you name all the trades, I'm in. The second part of the feminization of men in America as a profit center is 25% of men under 40 have ED. 25% of men under 40 years of age in this country have erectile dysfunction. There are franchises backfilling these issues, including the men's sperm count has dropped 50% in the last decade. On top of that, men's testosterone levels have plummeted. So this is what I mean by feminization of men. It's not to attack. I'm not attacking men.
Yeah,
I'm stating facts.
Well, I thought you were going to sell a franchise to help sell Viagra or something. But you're talking about about the stress levels and everything else that's involved. Is that what's creating
this? I'm talking about investing in businesses that could help you with testosterone levels.
Oh, I got it. Okay,
that can help you with all of the trades. All of these are businesses to invest in because every guy is calling another person to fix a roof, fix a window, fix a flood. I used to be in that business. We made millions of dollars doing water, fire, mold, and biohazard, right? I mean, just an incredibly profitable and successful business. Second category, we have humanized pets and animals in this country. It's a $150 billion industry. You could train them, board them, groom them, right? You could daycare them. You could do all sorts of things when it comes to the humanization of pets and animals. Third category, and the humanization, by the way, is because of what I just said.
Right.
You have kids who cannot have babies anymore, and you've got 2 presidential candidates, if you remember, talking about IVF at the exact same time. Never in history has 2 sides of the aisle agreed on something like that. Third category, the silver tsunami. This country's aging and aging fast. If you want to know what an aging nation looks like, study Japan, because that's where we're headed if we don't repopulate this nation. You have to. You can't have a strong nation without repopulating it. So there's home care, there's assisted living, there's non-emergency medical transportation, there's daycares, which I'm going to be interviewing on my pod this Friday, is a guy that created a daycare brand. So there's all sorts of opportunities in the aging of America, and it's not just caring for the elderly. I've got a guy that just does custom patented ramp systems. He does between $1 and $3 million a year just doing ramps for the elderly. Next category is anything involving beauty, vanity, biohacking. I don't care if it's the semaglutide space. I don't care if it's peptides or NACs or if it's Botox or if it's eyelash lounges or manis and petties.
Right.
Anything in that category, I'm going long, and I will never bet against the spending habits of a female that wants to feel beautiful, sexy. I won't do it.
Yeah.
I won't do it. It's just too powerful of a movement to bet against that. And then finally, public schools suck. They have failed our children miserably. They get an F. And anything involving youth enrichment, music, art, right? Cooking, home economics. We have men and women going to college that don't know how to do laundry. You can't crack an egg. Like it's absurd. So all of the things that I just said to your audience, we have franchise opportunities, dozens, if not hundreds of them, to backfill all of the voids that have been created in society. And all of them are AI resilient, they're recession resilient, and they're, future robotics, humanoid resilient. You have a long runway in those spaces.
So the edges of the country, which are the biggest populated areas, tend to be areas that people have a lot of other, people in the communities. What do you say to somebody that's living in the middle of our country that doesn't have a huge market to pull from? Are there franchises that are available to them that are remote franchises where they're dealing with just on the phone? Is there something that talk about that for just a second?
Sometimes these markets are just too small, and they anytime I'm dealing with a brand and I'm working with a client, one of the first things we want to get out in the open is define sustainability for me. Define it. So we go to brand A and say, could you please provide sustainability for your brand? Oh, sure. I'll email it to you. Let's just say it looks like this. 1 3 5-mile radius around your centroid needs to have 20,000 households making 75 grand or greater. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Population density, we like to see 200,000 people. Okay, wonderful. I look at my client. Let's now run the demos in your area, 1 3 5-mile radius around some local Starbucks down the street.
Right.
You have 5,000 households. And none of them are making any money.
Right.
So, on its face, it's like, did you need me for that? Yeah, some people do because they make huge mistakes and they buy things that don't belong in their market. But I will immediately, one of the things we pride ourselves on is talking people out of things more than we convince people to do something. And that is going to be my legacy. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I tell people the truth. Sometimes it hurts. It's brutally honest and they don't like it. Unfortunately, a lot of people suffer from confirmation bias. So even when I tell them that this is not a good idea, they're so mentally invested, they think I'm an asshole. And then we move on. And then they call me back 1 or 2 years later saying, you were right.
Oh, absolutely. They
always
bought
do.
It. They bought it. It failed, or it sunk, and it's not good.
Doug, they always call me back. I give them credit for that. They do always circle back and say, you were right. The brand was wrong, but I'm still in this game and I want to do something else. Now, please advise me.
How far away from where one lives would you advise someone to think about or consider? Because I'm thinking about, again, selfishly, I'm just putting myself in the scenario because I live in a low population area. I think there's 6,000 or 7,000 people here as of the last count. Within a mile radius, it's a high earning place, but it's not a highly populated place. But if I go down to Ventura, because I'm in Ojai, California, if I go down to Ventura or up to Santa Barbara or even down closer to LA, which is an hour and a half from me, I have, a gazillion people that are down there. Do you advise people get that far out of where they live?
Yeah, I would. And this is what I would say to someone that lives in a market as small as yours. Let's find something non-brick and mortar where we could bring the service to the end user and really cast a wide net to capitalize off of it. But if we're gonna fish in your 6,000 fish pond, it's just not gonna work out.
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah. So we got to get out of that market and chase the Ventura money. We got to chase the surrounding money and make it rain.
Talk to our community about your process. We've gone down the path of, hey, these are the things that you should be thinking about, or you might want to consider if you're thinking about investing in a franchise. Here's the things that you did in order to establish your credibility and expertise. What's your process look like so somebody in our community knows, hey, this is a good idea. I want to talk to Cliff.
First thing I want to tell the audience is this: stop looking at brands and start looking within. What do you want? Why do you want to be self-employed? What are you willing to invest? What is your tolerance for risk? Do you have the intestinal fortitude to do this? Are you self-driven, motivated? Do you need a manager constantly tracking your mouse movement on your computer to make sure you're working? Like, come on, you got to be driven, motivated. Right. You have to want this. You have to have that fire. Second thing I want to say to the audience, no, you don't need any direct industry experience. That only matters when you're applying for a job. Right. Hi. I'd like to apply for this job. Do you have experience? Yes, I've been doing it for 5 years. Wonderful. Like, fill this out. When you're buying a business, who cares if you have direct industry experience? Right. All you need to do is believe in you. That's it. So this is a big issue where people limit their opportunity because they say, I can't own a pest control business because I have no experience in it. You don't need any experience. I've owned 12. I didn't have experience in anything I've ever done. I reverse engineered printer consumables, 36 locations, brick and mortar, all throughout New York and Connecticut, reverse engineering toner cartridges. We disassembled them and rebuilt them. No experience in any of this stuff. So you don't have to do that. Next, reach out to us, schedule a consultation. It'll be a very quick phone call. Let's assess each other and determine if there's some fit. should you be doing this? And if you'd like to, we'll have you complete a questionnaire so we could understand your optics and what do you like and what do you dislike? Do you like elder care? Are you allergic to pets? Like I just said, I love pets. This person not listening is saying I'm allergic to pets, or I hate them, brings back bad childhood memories, whatever. So we want to know what the client likes, what the client dislikes, what's your risk tolerance, what are you comfortable investing, what do you need to earn, where do you live? Are you in a Doug situation with 6,000 people? But right, or are you living in, Buckhead, Atlanta, and it's like, look, I've got a ton of money, a ton of population. I could print money here. I just need to find the right opportunity. We want to know what phase of life they're in. We want to know what cash flows they have. We want to know if they have spousal support. Doug, we go so deep that the book we're writing that will be published in September is called Beyond the Brand.
Right.
Because as you could tell today, I didn't tell you or your audience to buy anything because prognosis before diagnosis is malpractice. Know your client, know what phase of life they're in, know what's going on, then make write the prescription. You need to look at these brands. They fit.
I keep thinking about things like, I spent my 30 years doing my career as an entrepreneur. And then in the second phase of my entrepreneur life has been the last 10 years doing this podcast production. And I really love it. It does not require 40 hours of input. And I find that I get a little bored, and then I look to, hey, am I looking at investment diversification? I'm in commercial real estate. I'm in the stock market. I'm in a bunch of different things. Should I be considering an opportunity as a franchise owner to take a portion of your portfolio and put it into a franchise? I don't see myself ever retire. I don't want to just sit on a beach or be on my sofa watching, Netflix. I want to be doing something, but I kind of like to be told, here's the process, here's the system. We're even going to provide you with some of the leads and we'll even do the marketing for you, or we've got a system in place. I don't want to create that stuff anymore. Sure. I love the whole idea of franchising. I'm just curious, when you meet with people, how much do you become a psychologist as you are an expert in franchising?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's actually another episode, which is fear. Fear is really what stops people from living their best life and retiring uncompromised. It's always fear. So that's a separate thing. Your comment about diversification and wanting to do other things, you need to have some bandwidth in your schedule. So if someone's listening is like, I relate to Doug, what Doug just said, that's me. He just basically described me.
Right.
Okay. Right. Do you have 15, 20 hours a week of bandwidth that you can manage your manager? What I will say to the audience is this is not a passive investment. Passive and the word absentee do not belong in the vernacular of this conversation.
Right.
I want people that, again, I don't want you making sandwiches and taping boxes at UPS, but I want you managing a manager. I want you acquiring new customers. Here's what we tell people. I just need you obsessing over three things. Number one, obsess over acquiring new customers. Number two, obsess over increasing the average ticket of your company. And number three, increase the frequency of purchase from your customers. Those are the only three ways you could build a brand, period. But what do people do? They go to Home Depot, they do busy work, they do bullshit work, they do all this nonsense that doesn't have anything to do with the three things that I just said. Right. Customers, increase average ticket, and increase frequency of purchase. Those are the three ways you build a brand, build your company, obsess over it. And that's what I want our franchisees doing, not the sandwiches, not being fully absentee, as I mentioned.
So, Nice Guy community, the stuff that we're talking about, Cliff has these conversations with you, and he charges the big old sum of $0. He's not looking, you're not paying his fee. He's going to get paid by the franchisor that's selling the franchise. And he's not looking at one specific thing because he's making a bigger percentage from that one franchisor. He's going to take all of these things that we've just talked about, all of the qualifiers that help. Look, for me personally, as sexy as it may seem to be, want to be in senior care, I don't want to be involved with helping old people. I'm not unkind. My mom's 92. I love working with her and doing stuff with her, but one older person in my life is enough. I can't imagine running a senior facility or something. But he mentioned something like building ramps for that would help, that go on vans or something. That's a franchise. I'm like, okay, well, that is senior. What is it? Not senior. It's like senior-esque, but it's not dealing specifically in that,
I agree with you.
World. I'm not changing bedpans. I'm helping outfit a van with a ramp. That's the kind of stuff that I like. So I don't know about you, nice guy community, but the first step for you, if you're listening to this and you're franchise curious, is just get on the phone with Cliff. Just figure out what it is that you would need to accomplish and where you need to be. Is there any qualifier that we can say, hey, if this doesn't fit the mold, don't even make the inquiry. I'm not looking to talk to you because I'm not trying to sell you into the idea of franchising. You need to come to me with an idea of, I'm interested in this. What do I need to do, rather than I can't do this.
Yeah, right. So you're asking me that, do I have a qualifying, to be a fit for franchise? Here's what I tell everyone. 90% of my industry is going to answer the question this way. You need to be able to follow a proven system. This is what my industry says. What makes a good franchisee? I view it totally differently. I learned this from Jack Welch. It's called the 4E 1P principle. If anyone's listening, if you resemble the 4E 1P principle, then you should call me.
Right,
the first E is energy. Do you have energy? You notice how much energy we have?
Yeah.
That's energy. That
Yes.
shit's contagious.
Yes.
We could fire up a train with the amount of energy that we give off.
Right.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And every day I'm on. Every day you have to be on. Every day you're auditioning for that next whatever million you're going to make.
Cliff,
Number two,
30 years as a bar mitzvah MC. I bring energy, and not and that's what I did my entire career. So for me, I this is not faking this. This is real.
No, I know. Well, listen, you've been at this a long time, Doug.
Right.
This
Okay.
is some show, man.
All right. So energy.
Energy. Do you have energy? Everyone on the call is like, yeah, I got energy. Good. Can you energize others? Will people follow you? Can you lead?
Right.
So you have energy. That's wonderful. Can you energize your team?
Got
yeah,
it.
people love to follow me.
Okay.
Number three, do you have?
Wait, what was the second one? What was the second E?
Energize.
Oh, energy and energize.
So just because
got
Doug has energy, just because you have energy, it doesn't mean you can energize your staff. Do they follow you? Are you a leader? You got to be able to energize a team, just like a coach in a locker room.
I understand.
The third one is execution. Can you execute a proven model flawlessly? That's what franchising is, execution. The next E is very difficult for people in this correctness world we live in, which is called edge. Do you have edge? Can you get in an office with another employee and have a difficult conversation about their performance instead of being afraid to question them on their misdeeds because you're afraid they might quit? You have to have edge.
Got it.
Right? Next is P. You got to have some passion. What do you love? What do you want? What are you passionate about? Like, what drives you? Why are you springing out of bed Monday morning to do pest control? It's not pest control. It's the fact that I'm putting my kids through college. It's the fact that I'm setting up my retirement plan. It's not the killing of the bugs I'm passionate about. It's what I'm building. It's my legacy.
Hey, how do you feel about? Oh, is there anything else?
No,
the
4E 1P principle.
All right, energy, energize, execution, edge, and passion. These are all 5 critical components of whether, if you don't feel like those are things that you're going to bring to the table when you have a conversation with Cliff, if you feel like Cliff needs to sell you into the idea of having passion or having energy, don't fucking call him, okay? Because he's not looking to sell you anything. What he's looking to do is help shape what you already have, but you haven't figured out what the have is yet. So
that's right.
If we're on the same page there. How do you feel about partnerships in franchising? I keep thinking about this selfishly. Strick and I really like this idea a lot. I want to have a conversation with you. What would you guide me to? Would you feel, are you comfortable in a partnership coming to you and saying,
yes,
but he's Austin, Texas, and I'm Southern California. Is that still okay?
See, that's interesting you brought up geography. Geography is not my concern. What I like about you and Strickland is you don't have overlapping skill sets.
No.
You two complement each other.
Yeah, totally.
I don't like partnerships where it's two rock star farmer reps that like to sell, and I'm scratching my head wondering who's doing operations.
Yeah, Strick's the operations systems guy. Right.
But see what I mean? That's where you two have a successful partnership where he's not in your grid square, you're not in his. We love this new term now, stay in your lane. Doug has his lane, Strickland has his lane, and you two became incredibly successful. I do prefer partnerships where we don't have overlapping skill sets. The caution on partnerships is obvious. this business needs to kick off some serious cash flow.
Right.
There's always one person doing more. Like these are the issues with partnerships. So make sure you guys draft exit strategies and breakup clauses, and you have clearly defined rules and bylaws in your shareholder agreement. So I work with partners all the time. Do I think that the person should just do it on their own? Yes. And I think that they will be greater for it, and they could bring in investors in the future, silent partners, to scale the business through OPM, other people's money.
Very interesting. You hit it on the head. Strick and I definitely have different skill sets. We were encouraged. Somebody's got to be 51% owner. Somebody's got to be 49. We've had this business 10 years. We've never had an issue with 50-50. We've been friends for 30 years. We've never had an argument about money. We've always cooperatively come to a conclusion that hey, maybe he's going to win this time. Maybe I'll win next time. I don't know that we've ever had a serious argument about anything business related at all. We have some personal conversations, but it's been great.
My business partner and I echo exactly what you said. We have a phenomenal business partnership, friendship, a brotherhood, if you will. And not enough people put thought into spouse selection, partners. Like most people just too emotional. They don't have a criteria. They're not looking for something. And that's why a lot of stuff doesn't last. Marriage doesn't last. Friendships don't last. Partnerships don't last. They're not. I had an old mentor, and I love this line. He goes, Cliff, you need to cherry pick, not polish the pits.
I do.
I thought that was great.
I was thinking as soon as you said marriage, and then I was thinking about Strickland. I thought, you know what? I've had two divorces in the time that I've been friends with Strickland. I've never broken up with Strickland, but then again, I don't have to go to bed with him. So
you don't live with him, right?
Right. I don't live with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody's in our audience wants to reach out to you, Cliff, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Go to the website. Go to francity.com. FRANOCITY.com, and fill out a short form. It's just a name and your email and phone number. There's also a link that'll email you to my calendar so that you could book a call.
Excellent. Well, make sure we put all of that information in the show notes. Nice Guy community. Cliff, anything I'm not asking you, something I should be that it's obvious that I'm missing? Because
you're great.
This is good. I appreciate this.
Yeah, we could go down scaling. There's so many avenues to go down, but I think for this, I think this is a good time. I enjoyed my time with you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, my pleasure. If there is someone in our community that moves forward, I'd love to use them as a case study and have them back and you on the show as well.
Oh, that's great.
And regardless of whether there's somebody that moves forward, I want to have you back on the show just because you're a good guy to have a conversation with. This has been a really, really good conversation.
Great. I welcome it. Thank you, Doug.
Hey, Nice Guy community. Check out the links in the show notes for all the information that we talked about today. Special thanks to Cliff. All of his information will be right there in the show notes. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Fill up your week with the Nice Guys. The Nice Guys on Business are publishing 5 episodes a week. My master plan is working.